There are times of the year where you're only in the mood to play certain video games. Some games you can play year-round, while others there is a time and a place for. Now, as to what games are played when is down to personal preference, but for me, I find myself gravitating towards Jet Set Radio near the spring/summertime. For those unaware, Jet Set Radio is a Dreamcast title focused on spraying graffiti over rival gang tags while avoiding being caught by the police using skates. It was released back in 2000 and has since gone on to spawn a sequel and several ports. The version I'll be looking at is the Steam port, released in 2012, as that's the most recent release of the game and can be played at a higher resolution with a stable frame rate. To go back a little further, Jet Set Radio was developed by Smilebit, a Sega studio formed by the members of Team Andromeda, who were the developers of Panzer Dragoon. I've never played Panzer Dragoon, but I know it's a popular Sega Saturn game, or at least as popular as a Sega Saturn game can be. Anyhow, these devs were being directed by Masayoshi Kikuchi, who at first was struggling directing the project as he has never directed a game up until this point. Another prominent developer on the team who joined from the old Andromeda team was art director Ryuta Oida. When he was designing characters, he wanted to create something cool and dealt with pop culture at the time. His designs of teens with headphones on rollerblades became the foundation the game would be built behind. The Smilebit team would also develop this cell shading technique that was unlike anything anyone had ever seen at the time, and it made the game look more unique and fresh. When deciding the game would be based around graffiti and tagging buildings, they got the help of a bunch of artists of different art styles to help with the different tags that were in the game. As development went on, they ran into problems later down the line though, as the game would feature an open 3D world, which in 1999, when games like Shenmue were still in development, wasn't the easiest thing to program. But regardless, the team pulled through, and in 2000, Jet Set Radio released to critical acclaim. But almost 23 years later, is Jet Set Radio still worth playing? Let's find out. So to start off, this game takes place in a city called Tokyo-to, where the two most popular things here are the superpowered skates powered by neutron batteries run by street punks to get around, and this radio station called Jet Set Radio, which is a pirate radio station hosted by this guy, DJ Professor K. He's a wacky, funny, zany host who is honestly one of the best parts of the game. His responses to the people who asked him questions over the radio got a good few chuckles out of me, and overall, he just seems like a big homie.
Tokyo's guerrilla music broadcaster, Jet Set Radio! Let's go to the mailbag. A letter from Mr. Osaki asks, how do I get rid of these nasty roaches? Easy, just burn your house down. I burned my house down. What should I do now? How should I know, fool?
The street punks have been nicknamed the Rudies by the residents of Tokyo-to, as they spend most of their time wandering the streets, covering it with their graffiti. However, they aren't left to roam free, as the Metropolitan government and the Rokaka group came together to co-found the 21st Century Project. This essentially made it to where the police were to crack down even harder on the Rudies going around spraying their graffiti, authorizing them to use more force to stop them and make their punishment more severe. Their main captain is this dude, Onishima, and he is insane. The first time you even meet this guy, he pulls out a magnum and begins to shoot at you, and he freaks out so hard over the police radio.
This is Onishima. I'm second in the parachute squad. Once they land, fill that hell on wheels with lead.
Anyways, this is where you come in. You meet this girl named Gum and this dude named Tab, and after you copy what they do to see if you have the stuff to be running a group, you quickly form your own gang, the GGs. And after tuning into Jet Set Radio, Professor K briefs you on the other two rival gangs, that being Poison Jam and the Noise Tanks. After every mission, Professor K will brief you on what's going on in the streets, essentially giving you updates on what the different gangs are up to. Almost immediately after the tutorial, a new gang arrives called the Love Shockers and tag all over the GG's turf, and your first mission is to take it back. After clearing it out, you find out more about the group and then go after the other two rival gangs. This goes on for a few levels until eventually you run one of the gangs out completely, and a strange black car comes by and picks up the bodies of the tagged members off the ground. But not without leaving a strange piece of a broken vinyl record on the floor that the GGs pick up. All the gangs drop one after they're defeated, but after defeating the Love Shockers, it's also revealed that they have been in touch with a group called the Golden Rhinos, who are a group of killers. It's also revealed that the Rokaka group is owned by a guy named Goji Rokaku, who owns a huge business that pretty much runs the city. He has a plan called the Rokaku Project 2000, which is a plan to increase productivity and prosperity in the city, which he dubs the future of Tokyo-to. The last piece of the vinyl that the Love Shockers drop also complete the full record, but before the GGs can question it, they're visited by a duo of out-of-town skaters, that being Cube and Combo. After the GGs test them and they join the group, Combo tells them why they need their help. Turns out, Cube and Combo from Grind City and they and their third partner Coin used to own the turf in the Bantam Street area. Nobody contested them until one day these golden rhinos and paintings of strange symbols started showing up over their graffiti. Along with this, Coin was kidnapped and his collection of records was destroyed, and to add on to this, strange black cars with men in black suits in them have been showing up and patrolling their city. In retaliation, Cube and Combo sprayed over their markings to keep ownership of their turf, and in the process, he had messages telling them to go to Grind Square, which upon arriving, the men in black seemingly have spread their symbols over in that area too. Combo then makes the connection that these black suit guys might have something to do with the Rokaku group in Tokyo, as Grind Square was built by the Rokaku, and these guys seem to be protecting it. So, Cube and Combo fly out to Tokyo and switch to the GG so that they can get to the bottom of all the weird things that have been going on. This leads to the two groups teaming up and stopping the Golden Rhinos hold on Tokyo, since I'm guessing in between the time it took Cube and Combo to tell this long ass story, the Golden Rhinos have already taken over every area the GGs had already sprayed. And as it turns out, the Golden Rhinos are under the Rokaku group. What these guys are looking for is the Devil's Contract, a record that has the power to summon a demon, and is the very same record the GGs pieced together from the broken records the rival gangs dropped earlier. While they were out spraying graffiti though, the Rokaku group stole the record. Look, you guys need to put a lock on your doors for the amount of time your base have been broken into in this game. Early in the story, the Noise Thing stole their fucking dog. Like, how does that even happen? You can't all be out tagging walls, it's just one of you is enough to spray an entire area down with graffiti, so what's up with you guys? Where are y'all at during this? Regardless, the Gigi's corner in question Poison Jam, who tells them that the record was made by some evil sound engineer and Goji wants to use it to make a contract with the demon so he can take over the whole world. Obviously, the GGs won't have that, and after tagging his bald head, you defeat Goji, who sounds way too excited to be falling off one of the tallest buildings in Tokyo. Wait, did he just say Geronimo? And that's it. Everything returns to normal, and it turns out the demon record that they were after is just a hoax. It's just an old indie record. The story of this game is nothing mind-blowing, but it's still a fun romp that lets you get to understand the culture of this world and how things operate in the streets of Tokyo Town. It's more about the style and presentation of it than anything else, but it's still pretty cool. Now, what you'll actually be doing in this game is the best part about it. Every character in this game is on skates, meaning that you have to accommodate for the terrain as you move around in the levels. There are slopes that make you go faster when going down them, and likewise going up them can be a struggle and a half. However, you are able to grab onto cars to help you get up these slopes, although admittedly I barely use this outside of the ramp at this level. By hitting RT, you can gain more speed on flat surfaces, which makes you able to perform a number of other actions, such as jumping farther, getting more speed on rails, and doing this sick wall slide that, while I'm not sure if it's possible to do in real life, it looks sick as hell in this game. Depending on how fast you're going when you're on the rails, every character will do a trick animation when they jump, which will net you more points and give you a better ranking when you finish the levels. I don't think it really matters what rank you get, as unlockables are locked behind these yellow radio looking things, which will get you custom graffiti options you can equip in the graffiti menu. The art on these look amazing, but you are also allowed to draw your own design. Seeing though as I'm not an artist, what I made wasn't particularly good. To go back to the main mechanics, in order to actually spray graffiti, you need to collect these spray cans scattered across the areas you're in. The yellow ones give you 1, the blue ones give you 5, while the red ones restore your health from any damage you may have taken. When actually spraying graffiti, small attacks are just one button presses, while bigger attacks require you to do a motion input with the analog stick, which can be a tad bit finicky at first, but once you get used to the timing of it, you'll be able to paint a whole mural very quickly, which will save your ass as the police are relentless in this game. I already mentioned Officer Onishi, but I haven't actually talked about the lengths this dude will go to make sure that you are nothing more than a pace on the streets. This man will call swarms of officers, shoot guns at you, get attack helicopters to shoot at you, get the fucking military involved, and have you dealing with whole ass tanks. It's ridiculous. And once the rhinos get involved, they will sure to bring out flamethrowers to burn your ass. Like, calm down. Is this really necessary for a bunch of teenagers? Outside of that, during the missions where you have to run rival gangs out of your territory, you essentially have to spray their backs until they fall over, and after that, they will go away for good. I used to hate these levels because I wasn't able to easily keep up with them, but after years of practice, I've memorized the layout, so now I can easily stay on their tails. I can end the fight in a couple minutes nowadays. Memorization and practice will help you out a ton in this game, as later levels open up a lot. As you find out, these levels in the same area are all connected, and in the back half of the game, you'll have to run between them to tag all the areas needed to progress. If you're good, you can get it done in a speedy fashion, but if you ever find yourself lost in an area, there is a map on the pause screen, and it does show how many tags are left. It also shows what areas connect to each other and where you are in a given area. It's not perfect though, as it only shows you these things in relation to where you are on the map and not as a whole. Speaking of not perfect, while I do genuinely like the controls of the rollerblades in this game, they also aren't the best at times, as I counted several times where I had to awkwardly nudge the analog stick to get my character to turn around without slipping off a small platform. When you lose your speed or come to a complete stop, you lose a lot of mobility you would have had if you had kept moving, and also have no more forward momentum on your jumps, making some sections harder than they need to be. As mentioned before, there are also different playable characters in this game, and I love the designs, each of them feeling unique in their own right due to their different trick animations and voice lines. They all have different stats too, meaning some can't take as much damage but spray tags faster, or they can take a lot of damage and hold a lot of spray cans but their ground speed isn't the best. These characters are unlocked through these rival showdowns where if you beat them in a race or simply follow their movements, they will join your gang and you can play as them. I used every character in this playthrough and I can say the differences between them are enough I feel for someone to have a favorite, so it's worth trying them out when you unlock them. Graphically, this game looks amazing at times, but a fair bit of the texture work looks really dated, as there are several instances of just stretched out low quality PNGs used as textures and it looks ugly. Maybe it's due to this PC port and it might look better on original hardware, but as for this version, it probably could have used some reworks in a few areas. Not like you'll be paying attention all that much due to the amazing soundtrack. Hideki Naganuma really outdid himself with this one, as well as all the other artists who are involved. You can see what songs the different bands in this game made in the sound test, and it's great. They did amazing work in this game. I love Super Brothers, Let Mom Sleep, Humming the Bassline, Magical Girl, OK House, About the City, and of course, Sneak Man.
I don't understand what's going on here.
Yeah, nice. 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 Ouch. Give me a break.
Overall, Jet Set Radio is a great time from start to finish. If you want to get it, it's only $8 on Steam and it goes on sale often. Consider adding it to your collection this summer. With that being said, I hope you all have a good day and I will catch you all in the next one. I might drop an update video detailing my plans for the next few months, so look forward to that. Anyways, I'll catch you all later. Peace.